Hi, this is Sarah from Sassy Reads, and today I'm bringing you my May wrap-up. I read, I think, 6 books, including my graphic novels that I read, and I also read a bunch of short stories, so I think that I'm just going to, go through and talk about them. So let's start with my favorite. I actually reread The Great Gatsby at the beginning of the month of May. I love The Great Gatsby. Originally, when I first read The Great Gatsby, I was not in love with it, but upon the second reread I loved it, and then by the third one it's one of my all-time favorite books ever. I know a lot of people don't think The Great Gatsby is an entertaining read, but I love the intrigue. I love how brilliant F. Scott Fitzgerald is just brilliant. The way that he weaves the story and the way that he uses the landscape and the way that he just I love it. And my favorite quote is still the one right at the end where it's like one of my all-time favorite quotes. They were careless people, Tom and Daisy. They smashed up things and creatures and then retreated back into their money or their vast carelessness or whatever it was that kept them together and let other people clean up the mess they made. I love F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I love The Great Gatsby with a passion. And then I read my second Kurt Vonnegut, Mother Night. This follows Howard W. Campbell Jr. I think I've mentioned this one before on my channel, maybe in a book haul. And this follows, like I said, Howard. And he is an American who is a part of the Nazi movement. But is he really a part of the Nazi movement? He claims to have been an American spy, and his radio talk shows that were great in enabling and empowering Nazis to kill the Jews and slaughter them, they actually had codes that were sent out to the Americans. So this is an excellent story. It definitely answers the question of whether or not he really was a spy, and I have to say that Vonnegut has a way of turning morality into kind of I guess you could say a spinning wheel, like those little tops that you just turn, and you know how it goes around and around and around. Well, and it's so fast you can't look at it straight. I feel like he really takes morality and does that with it. Like, it just kind of spins out of control where you're not really sure if you agree with what Howard is and who he is and what he's done, because he is a truly horrible person. Like, he has no redeeming qualities, but at the same time he does have redeeming qualities because he understands what he did is wrong. So there's, that balance. And I quite love Vonnegut. I don't think there weren't any pictures in this one, which was kind of weird because I got used to the pictures, and I'm reading another Vonnegut right now and there's definitely a lot of pictures, but there's some great quotes in here. There's a lot of intrigue. It's not my favorite Vonnegut. That's still Slaughterhouse-Five, but I definitely love reading Vonnegut, and I'm going to continue on to, go through all of his works. And then I read I Hate Fairyland, which is a huge graphic novel. It's not huge, but I mean, it's big in the graphic novel world right now as a comic. It's by Scotty Young, and I think John something. I'm horrible with names, and I'm not gonna butcher it. And I gave it 5 stars. Elena really recommends it, and I'll leave her channel down below. She loves I Hate Fairyland, and she talks about it so much that when I saw it on NetGalley, I was like, read now, yes, yes, yes. And I got accepted for it, and I loved it. It was so much fun. I loved the color schemes. I loved the overall storyline of this little girl getting stuck in this magical world, and she becomes a murderous lady, and she's hell-bent on just destroying everything in her path. And I loved how it ended, so I'm really excited for Volume 2 when it comes out, and I really enjoyed it. And then I read a short story. I love the Tor shorts. If you don't know what Tor is, it's a publishing company, and they publish mainly fantasy and sci-fi, and they have free online short stories that they publish, I think, weekly. And Karen from Goodreads loves to, read Tor shorts, and I love her reviews. And she had a review of this one, and I instantly wanted to read it. So it's called Red as Blood and White as Bone by Theodora Glass. I'll leave the link down for that one down below if you're interested, as well as for my review on it. I absolutely love just the storyline of it. It took this little girl's fascination with fairy tales and really weaved it into historical settings, and I enjoyed that a lot. It's quite beautiful. I've actually started a kind of tour series reading challenge. Like, I just want to read all the tour fiction, and I'm going to keep on doing it for as long as I can. And then I read Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan, Volume 1. Ow! I gave it 4.5 stars. Look, I love Brian K. Vaughan. I think he is a genius. Everything I've read by him so far I've absolutely adored, whether it was Saga, Private Eye, or even Paper Girls. I think he's a genius. You know, he really has a way of making stories that come to life, and like the fact that they're in graphic novel form, it really comes to life. And I really enjoyed how he took this really out there story about paper girls during the 60s, which is something that was very rare because it was a boy job. And he turns it into like this weird sci-fi out there story. I still don't really know what's going on, but I really enjoyed it and I really recommend it. And then I was recommended to read some of Hemingway's short stories by my English teacher. So he lent me his copy of the complete short stories of Ernest Hemingway. I actually plan on purchasing my own copy of it because, you know, I want one for myself. I gave the ones that I read overall 4.25 stars, and I'll probably end up, the rating will fluctuate as I read more stories through that short fiction collection. But I read The End of Something, which I gave 3.5 stars, really brief, nothing really to touch on, but I'll leave my link down below for those reviews. Hills Like White Elephants, which is my favorite Hemingway story so far, is probably one of his most famous. It follows a couple who are having a conversation about an issue that needs to be dealt with, and I really love the morality. If you haven't been able to tell already, I love morality. Like, when that comes up in books and short stories, it's like, you'll probably get a 5 out of 5 for me if it's done well. And I highly recommend it. It's like 6 pages long. Go check it out. You can find it online for free. And then I read A Clean, Well-Lighted Place. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It didn't really grasp me, but I enjoyed it. There was something about it that I really liked. And then I also read Now I Lay Me, which is, I gave 4.25 stars. It follows a man who is dying, but he's not dying because it's all in his mind, and he can't go to sleep because of his wounds, and everything that he's seen through the war comes back to him. It's really interesting. You know, Hemingway is popular for his war stories, so I definitely think that you should check out Hemingway because, you know, maybe, I haven't read his books yet, but maybe his short stories are the way to get into them, because I'm pretty much enjoying that. And then I read the Twilight Zone anthology, edited by Carol Serling. There's so many authors in here. There's Rod Serling, which he's the guy who created the Twilight Zone. He wrote so many episodes. He's a genius. I love Rod Serling so much. There's R.L. Stine, Kelly Armstrong, Laura Lippman. Those are pretty much the only ones that I know. I don't know a lot of these writers, but they're good. I gave this whole collection 4 stars total. I'll probably do like a piece by piece on each one review, and I really like the Twilight Zone. Like, the Twilight Zone is one of my all-time favorite TV shows. I just love the black and white. I love the concepts. I love how my favorite episode, if you're wondering, is the one where the girl has she has a mask over her face, and she's like just had surgery, and they're like, the procedure didn't work, and like when they take it off, it's revealed that like she's surrounded by ugly people and she's actually beautiful, and I don't mean like ugly, I mean like monsters. And it's, I love that one. That one's like one of my favorite. I also really like the government one that is similar to 1984. I just love Twilight Zone. It's great. If you haven't seen a few episodes, you need to get on that. And then I read The Wedding by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It's like a kind of epilogue of sorts to the Lux series. You can find it on her Wattpad. I'll link it down below. I gave it 4 stars. It's cheesy and cute. I could not mention it because I love Damon Black. And then I read The Complete Alice in Wonderland. I've already read this. This is not what I actually read. I read the graphic novelization of it, which contained Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. It was my first time actually being exposed to Through the Looking Glass in like any kind of formatting, and I liked Through the Looking Glass, but I wasn't a big fan of the art and just the overall outlook of it. I gave it 2.5 stars. I'll leave my link down below for that as well. And those are the books that I read in May. Let me know what you read down in May. Well, down in May, down in the comments. Let me know what happened in May for you, because may you tell me what May was like? Just stop. Okay, so that's my May wrap-up. I hope you have a great day. Yeah, comment and let's talk. So bye!